Sorry.
We're here, Ad Rock guitar,
Hi,
Mike D on drums, MC on bass, Beastie Boys. Now let's talk about, this is a highly, highly, highly anticipated album, the mix-up.
Yeah.
How did this come together?
We recorded a record
in New York City, in Oscilloscope Recording Laboratories, which is our studio. Our last album, To the Five Boroughs, hip-hop album. We collaboed with each other using like samplers, computers. Tell these guys to stop it, please. That kind of stuff. And so, I don't know, when we were making this record, we just kind of thought, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's just get together in a room, play some instruments, see what happens. So we got together for a couple weeks, played some music, sounded good. Keyboard money Mark Nishida was in town for a little bit. We played some music with him, and then we went from there.
Alfredo Ortiz percussion.
Oh yeah.
Did you say we would? Would you say that we freaked it?
Oh
yeah. Well, we freaked it.
We freaked it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Nobody has ever really heard. I mean, you've only been touring in Central Europe. Now you're coming down to Scandinavia and to Roskilde, and you, like MC, you've actually had a chance to co-found or to found a festival. How's it playing at Roskilde at a festival like this, or headlining a festival?
Oh, we've been to Roskilde before. Oh yeah, we like this. Isn't new to us.
Yeah. Good. For us, it's funny. It's like we like doing it. We like getting out there, blessing the people.
Yeah, we played here with Rammstein.
We like having the people bless us.
That too, and then whatever. It's like it's a little bit of competition. We come out to win. That's what we're here for. I mean,
and that's what when they're die hard, when they've been in the mud for 5 days and they're actually.
I'm actually charging 75 kroner per blessing.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. That's just
you're giving blessings,
or just the audience.
You can. I just have my own solo side deal.
What, blessing children and old people and stuff?
Yeah, whatever. I got a booth around the corner. 75 kroner per blessing.
Next to the first aid.
Yeah.
I was looking through your website, and a lot of old school. You use a lot of analog synthesizer. You play in the '70s drum set. Is that influenced in the sound of the new mix-up album?
Yeah, I think
yes, it is.
The instruments and also the way we dressed. When we were recording, we wore suits, ties every day to the studio, shoes. So I feel that it all influences the sound.
It doesn't come as a surprise. You guys have been experimenting since day one, since the first album. And with a fully instrumental album, people must be thinking about, Mike had his country period, but what is this? What's it all about? What made you go to that extra length of actually making an instrumental album?
It's the only thing we could come up with. That was our best idea.
You've used all the tight verses. So
no, just for then. And so we got other ideas, but just at the time we were recording it, that's what we came up with. And so we were kind of working on that.
That's the best you got.
That's the best we got for now, yeah. But we got a whole lot of other stuff coming up. But we're pretty pleased with ourselves on this one.
Yeah, it's coming out next week, if I'm correct, right here in Europe.
I would think so. I would hope so.
I think it's actually out now.
Yeah, it should be out.
Well, I don't know when this airs, of course. So
yeah.
But
they might air this last week.
Yeah. We did it like
time travel.
It just seemed interesting. We used a lot of older instruments, older recording techniques. We used an old Neve console, old outboard gear, like mostly all analog outboard gear, and the instruments we recorded on were stuff from the 70s, 60s, 70s, maybe early 80s. So I don't know. It's just interesting because it makes you kind of work in a different way when you use the older equipment, and it's just kind of fun to do that for a minute.
Plus, you don't have to stress around samples anymore, like with Paul's Boutique or albums like that. Like now, when you play all yourself, you don't have to play around with samples or clearing samples,
which is nice.
Yeah. Well, it was nice on the mix-up record just playing, but at the same time, I don't think it's not like we're done sampling. It's still like we love doing it. Whatever. There's something to be said, but definitely sampling's got a lot more crazy now. Gotta give a shout out.
Gotta give a shout out to Pat Shanahan. She clears the samples. You know what I'm saying?
He's had her hands full. He's had his hands full. Would you say To the Five Boroughs was a concept album from New York? Now with this one, you're dressing up to, as you said, you wore suits when you were in the recording studio. It's funk based, a lot of old school. Is this a concept album, maybe?
What are you trying to do?
He's trying to kiss you or something?
No. Tell me now, Mike. Tell me now.
No, I'll tell you later.
I'd say it's interesting just doing a record having certain parameters when you do it. It was interesting on the last one, making an all hip hop record. we pretty much just on the last one we just focused on using like drum machines, synthesizers, sequencers, like programming stuff, sampling. And on this one we just kind of started in on it, playing the instruments, and it just seemed like it would be interesting to kind of do it without sampling and without turntables, without vocals, and just kind of like sometimes just interesting to work with certain set of guidelines. So that's what we did.
With an album like this, what are you anticipating to? Do you bring something else to the table now when you're playing live at a festival like this? Now you have to like bring your own instruments. You could just rock the mic last time.
It's a lot more stuff to carry.
It's a whole heap of gear.
Yeah. But that's all right,
Yeah.
It's fun.
I don't know. It keeps it. It's cool. I mean, it keeps it fun for us to like be able to switch it up and do different types of shows and different types of stuff, like in arrangements within our shows. Like take old songs and do different arrangements, or then also doing stuff with Mixmaster Mike. That's also fun.
How does the biggest selling hip hop act of all time? How do you keep influence?
Actually, I don't want
number 4, right?
Right. I think we're number 4.
Right.
I've been told.
Okay.
No, we might be number 1 group, but
Number 1 group, most definitely.
But anyway, we'll talk stats.
Most important group, though, we can say that.
Yeah,
safely.
How do you keep staying influenced? Do you listen to a lot of new stuff? What were you listening to when you were making this album? That's always interesting to know. Like what were you listening to, the music wise or being creative?
A lot of different stuff. Like definitely some instrumental stuff, like some funky stuff, but then definitely a lot of dub. Probably like also like some kind of like punk rock bands and post-punk bands that were influenced by reggae also. I mean, always some hip-hop we listen to. That's always
a lot of dubstep, grindcore, gutter punk.
Actually, the dubstep, grind, whatever the stuff that you got,
Yeah.
crazy.
Listen to a lot of like gutter punk, grindcore.
That's far from dubstep grime, I tell you that one. What's going to happen in the near future? Going to come up with a new music video, or what's happening? Are you just touring with this album now?
Well,
yeah, we got some new joints. Yeah, go on.
No.
No, yeah, please. Bless the people. Let them know about the visuals.
We got some video stuff we're working on. We've actually been working a lot with the Super 8 camera recently, taking it back. Also, like similar to the way we were using older instruments on this record, we've been shooting a bunch of stuff with the Super 8 camera. Kind of going old school there too,
which is nice. So we got a movie, possibly.
Yeah,
we got stuff.
We're working on kind of like a film version of the album.
We got big things. Big things are coming up.
All right. Sounds really good. All right. One last question, then. This is the hard one. Got you finally on the table.
Okay.
Let's see. We're not going to talk about the R. Kelly and that stuff. We're going to talk about with a lot when you go sort of back, as you said, you use a lot of old school instruments. You're taking it back with the Super 8. You're taking it back to retro sounds, but obviously you're bringing something new to the table. Because I mean, if sort of like nowadays with the music scene, when you're taking it back, it's like, okay, well, they're trying to copy this, but they're not really reaching it. What are you guys bringing to the table?
I'm glad you said that. No, because I do think that. I think that we are using a lot of old instruments, and we're getting influenced a lot by old music, but I don't really think it sounds like a retro record. I think it is kind of its own thing.
I don't think we're really talented enough to actually copy somebody else.
But even if we were...
But I think actually in a weird way, like that works out for us, because it's like we might even sometimes like try, it'd be cool to make something like this, but we can't help it. We end up making our own, whatever, original Beastie Boys composition in what we do.
Whatever you look upon, it will still be a Beastie Boys record.
Can't help ourselves.
And you shouldn't. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to help myself.
You're a beautiful man, Adam.
I appreciate that.
Help me help you.
I would like that.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Cool. Thank you. Woo!